Good evening, everyone. We'll call the City Council to order at 8 o'clock on Monday, February 14th, 2022. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Before we get started, we have 15 items on this evening's agenda. I will ask the City Clerk to please read agenda item number 1.
Minutes of the City Council meeting, January 24th, 2022.
Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on file.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Is approved to file 11-0. Agenda item number 2.
City Council President Ossing, an update from Mayor Vigent regarding COVID-19.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, been a little while since I've been down here, but so as of today, we have 34 active cases in the city. And that's going to fluctuate up and down. I think Thursday we were at 50, then Friday we were at 60, and over the weekend we dropped to 34. So I think we're going to see some fluctuations in there, but we're down substantially from where we've been. We have a test positivity rate of 9.07% over the last 14 days. And the good news is up at Marlborough Hospital, using their facility for testing, over the last week we've been at 1.8%. So obviously a big difference there. They do have 3 cases currently in the hospital. 2 of those are breakthrough cases, actually. So we're still seeing a few of them coming through. The Stop the Spread has changed their hours. They're still down at New England Sports Center for the time being, Monday through Friday, 8 to 11. So the new hours are 8 to 11, 5 days a week, and they are going to be closed on President's Day. So if someone's going down on a stormy day or a holiday, just check the website. They usually have it up there pretty quickly if they're not going to continue testing. But the numbers have been really way down as far as people looking for testing. Obviously, after vacation week, we expect that to jump up a little bit, maybe some before, but I think things are hopefully settling down a little bit. Vaccination rates. The city of Marlborough right now has 89% of our residents with 1 dose. Hopefully this week we break the 90% with the 1 dose. 77% are vaccinated with the 2 doses or considered fully vaccinated. And they started keeping track of the boosters. Have no idea how or where or why, but they say that 37% of our residents have had the booster shots, and that sounds pretty low actually, if you know, for the people out there. But this is the first week we've been able to get those numbers, and actually the numbers are going up for the younger kids, the 5 to 11 group. We have 44% of them have had 1 vaccination, and 27% are fully vaccinated. So those numbers continue to rise, and that young adult age, the 20 to 29s, are starting to really get their vaccinations now finally too. So I think what the health department's been doing and going into some of the restaurants and pubs is helping out. The school numbers are down, and we have a meeting with the school committee, or I have a meeting with the school committee on March 8th. Even though the state is lifting their mandate on schools on the 28th of February. We're going to let it ride until that March meeting, and we'll make a decision at that time. I'm hoping that if the numbers stay the way they are now, that we can lift the mask mandate with certain protocols in the schools on March 8th, but I'm only 1 of 7 votes up there. So the Board of Health continues to do their different clinics over the last month. Obviously, the Board of Health lifted the city mask mandate on the 7th and made it an advisory. On the 25th, our health department with John Garside did a pop-up vaccination clinic down at the Brazilian Steakhouse. On the 26th, they did a vaccination clinic up at Jericho. And on the 9th, they did a pop-up down at Dunkin' Donuts, down at 330 Boston Post Road. And they did 2 in City Hall, February 2nd and February 9th. Those are shorter timelines. I think it's only, well, the ones coming up are only 12 to 1. So, but people can get vaccinated here. The next 2 in City Hall are going to be on February 16th and February 23rd at City Hall from 12 to 1. We prefer you register so they can be prepared in case there's a large group coming, but they can walk in if they don't get around to it. So on the 23rd, there's a pop-up vaccination clinic across the street at Welly's from 11 to 1 also. So with that, Mr. President, I'll take any questions you have.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Questions for the mayor? Councilor Oram.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Question on the pop-ups. Are they working? How popular are they? How are the numbers when they do the pop-up clinics at the restaurants especially?
Yeah, I haven't got the actual numbers, but I think we're getting into areas where some of them haven't been vaccinated. So, you know, they're just figuring they're going to try to get in as many places as they can. But obviously our numbers of vaccinated and partially vaccinated keep going up 1 or 2% a week. So we're getting some people. It's just, you know, we're getting there. And like I said, this is with us forever. So.
And the pop-ups, they open just to city residents? Or say if I worked at the restaurant, could I be vaccinated?
I would assume they're taking care of the people that are working there also.
Excellent. And compliments to the Board of Health. You mentioned them as well. They've had some tough decisions to make. Yep. They're making them on fact and science. Yep. Very important. And we move forward, and I thank you for your updates.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Oram. Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Through you to the mayor. So most of the Marlborough Hospital, when people go in for the hospitals, they need to get tested before they go in. Does Marlborough has that policy as well? Do they test people on the way in?
Say that again?
If someone comes into Marlborough Hospital, do they get tested for COVID? Like, just as a general policy?
I don't know that.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I mean, I would
assume wondering if that's
they have to have a test before they go in. Do they have to get their test? I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Now, just wondering whether, you know, the Marlborough Hospital being 1.8%, I'm just wondering how that's related to...
That's the email we got today, so I was surprised that Marlborough was down so low.
It's all great news.
Yep.
This is really great numbers. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Doucette. Councilor Perlman.
Thank you, Mr. President, and through you to the mayor, I really appreciate all of the updates. We know this is a challenging time, so it's great to see the numbers going down in the city. Could you just give another update regarding the at-home test program in the city and how long that supply will be lasting? I know people have really appreciated the different areas in the city they can access those.
Yeah, they're still pushing them out through several different sources at the Boys Club, Boys and Girls Club, the Senior Center, up at the food pantry. The requests have dropped substantially, but we still have quite a bit. And actually, we just sold some of our tests to Sudbury. They were looking for some help over there, so we sold them, I think, 1,200 test kits. But we still have plenty and have access to plenty more after that. So we're still getting them out there, but the demand has dropped substantially.
Okay, thank you. I've been referring some people to the city web page, the landing page that has those locations. Are these also available at the vaccine clinics for people to pick up?
I don't know if they're taking them with them. I would assume so, but you know what? It's a good suggestion, and I'll make sure John Garside gets that.
All right, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilor Perlman. Anyone else? Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 3.
Communication from the mayor regarding grant acceptance in the amount of $118,940 from the Massachusetts Department of Energy Resources awarded to the city to be used to update the energy management system and controls at the Freeman School.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve the grant, please.
Motion made and seconded to approve the grant. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The grant is approved, 11-0. Agenda item number 4.
Communication from the mayor regarding mid-year transfer requests totaling $1,648,616 from various departments for fiscal year '22, which moves funds from and to accounts as outlined in the transfer sheets.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee.
Motion is made and seconded to refer to the Finance Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. My assumption was this would get referred to committee. I would just like to point out to the committee members as you discuss this, I know that at least this first grouping, these are salary increases, which are contractual. However, I would remind you or point out that the amount of money that's listed as the balance in the free cash account that this is coming from should probably actually reflect the real amount, that the amounts that we have on the table for the Finance Committee for the land for the fire station have been reduced to this amount, so it's listing $6,909,000. It should really show the $12 million that's in the account that's currently there because those others have not been approved as of yet. And I pointed out, I know it's hard to try to figure out a way to make the mayor do things for this council, but in December we sent an order down with a request for money to come from that free cash account, and it hasn't been sent down yet. My hope is that it will, and if there are ways to potentially hold on other transfers that aren't contractual to entice him to send it down, I would urge the finance chair to think about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Roby. Any other discussion? On the motion to refer to the Finance Committee, all those in favor? Opposed? It is referred to Finance 11-0. Agenda item number 5.
Communication from the mayor regarding the reappointments of John Eustace and Wayne Stanley to the Commission on Disabilities for 3-year terms respectively from the date of council confirmation.
Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. Refer to personnel.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Personnel Department, Personnel Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Is referred to Personnel 11-0. Agenda item number 6.
Communication from the mayor regarding the reappointment of George LaVenture to the Planning Board for a 5-year term to expire February 1st, 2027.
Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. Refer to personnel as well.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Personnel Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Is referred to Personnel 11-0. Agenda item number 7.
Communication from the mayor regarding a proposed amendment to the City Code, Chapter 125, Section 6, salary schedule to amend the salary for the parking enforcement officer.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee and to advertise, please.
Motion made and seconded to refer the item to the Finance Committee and to advertise. Any discussion on the motion? Councilor Orem.
I think it's needed, but the Collins report, when you read through that, brings up the process that we're handling it, as we're handling this right now, all the work that the City Council does on it. It'll be interesting to see where we go with that report. I know it's on another agenda item, but it kind of brings out what we're doing right now with the parking clerk. But that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Councilor Orem. Anyone else? On the motion to refer to the Finance Committee and to advertise, all those in favor? Opposed? It is approved to refer to Finance and advertise 11-0. Agenda item number 8.
Communication from the mayor regarding the succession planning project information.
Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on file.
Motion's made and seconded to accept and place on file. Any discussion on the motion? Councilor Orem.
Just curious, and I'm not trying to take up too much time, all the lovers out there, but just curious, where will it just gets accepted and placed on file? I would hope someone's going to grab this and, like Human Resources, and work with it, because it does suggest a lot of great, in my view, a lot of great ideas. Yeah. I was wondering if it's something that would get referred to one of our subcommittees, but maybe it goes to HR first. I don't know what the council's wish is, but it's a great report, brings out a lot of information that presently exists in Marlborough. I'd like to see it referred to a committee, maybe oversight and operations, something where it could be active and not just lay on a table.
So if I can add to that,
Sure.
Councilor Orem, so it can. So if you recall, last year, I think the mayor came down with a grant to do the study. They had the outfit come in, interview everybody, and this is the results. So typically, we don't have to get involved in all the day-to-day operations. I'm sure the mayor, anything that comes out of this is going to come back down to the council, because it would need ordinance changes. If he's going to hire assistants to staff, those would all have to come before us for approval. We can ask questions anytime. If you really want it in oversight, you're welcome to have it there. It's just that, we can't drive the mayor to do those things, but it's good practice to implement some of them. Whether they implement all of them in a time frame, I don't know. I'm not sure the speed.
And I agree with you. I'm not trying to overtake any department that, like Human Resources, that may look at this and hopefully refer something back to us for some ordinance changes, because it suggests that in there as well. I'll keep the report. Maybe by fall, hopefully we'll see something coming back. I'll hold off on my suggestion at this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Orem. Councilor Doucette.
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree with a lot of what my fellow councilor says. This was a great report with a lot of insight into the operations of the city. Little did I know that we're responsible to do job descriptions. And that's not necessarily something that, a committee should be doing. I think it's more belongs into the HR, but the rule structure is what the rule structure is, and we have to abide by that, which is why the descriptions haven't changed in 18 years. So I also hope to see that this is not just put on a shelf and collects dust. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Doucette. Councilor Landers.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think I would like it to go to some committee, and that committee has some discussion, and we might have some discussion. I think it's an opportunity, even with the people of Marlborough, know how City Hall works and how these different departments work. So I think we move too fast just to, would we vote the table? Have we voted yet the table?
Not yet. No. To file.
I think we ought to think about it. I really do. Now, what committee? Personnel? I don't know. What do you think? Excuse me, may I? Sorry. It comes with age. But, I think it's, looking through that, I think the best example, I think they mentioned, I read this, 7 to 10 days ago, the city clerk's office. We have a city clerk, we have an assistant city clerk, but we don't always have an assistant in some of these other departments. I think that's missing. As an educator, we had a principal and then a vice principal. So I'm not so sure. Somewhere along the line, I think a committee, subcommittee needs some discussion on this, and then bring it before the full council, and we could have some discussion. That's all. That's all, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Landers. And you'll recall in the report it says a lot of those assistants that we had back in the day were reduced due to cost-saving measures. So, so if you want more staff on board, that comes with a price, correct? I mean, that's a budget increase. That's not just...
Nothing's free in life.
There you go.
We know that.
Anyone else? Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. The reason why I didn't refer to personnel is because I think it's too broad of a scope for personnel. I would like to see it go into operations and oversight, if anything at all. I do not chair O&O, so I would like to see the chair of O&O step up and refer it to their committee if they want it. Looking through the report, I think it's just too broad of a council as well. You all have access, can read it, and then have a meeting with the mayor to see what you would like to see happen with that report. I think as a council, things have to come to the mayor first through us, and if you want to take that initiative to meet with the mayor and see what you think should come down to the council, by all means. It's a great report. I plan on doing that, but if you want to have a conversation over it, please, if the O&O chair would like to step up and bring it there, I just don't think it would sit well in personnel. That's my personal opinion. With being chair of the personnel committee, I'm happy to do the work. I just think it's more of an operational and oversight committee thing. And we can discuss that all you want, but I don't think it's too broad for personnel. So that's why I motioned to accept and place on file. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Dumas. Anyone else? Councilor Roby.
Thank you. I guess I was hoping this would be accepted and placed on file. It is a great report, but I think as it was pointed out, the mayor asked for the report. The mayor's got the statistics. It's now the mayor's time to decide what to do with it. It's not the council's decision, I don't think, at least not unless you really want to take something right in order and say, add people, move money, change the ordinance. I think the mayor probably has plans to bring down things for us or suggest to someone that an ordinance change come through. Some of it he may say, now's not the time. I don't think we want a huge increase in our budget coming up this year with new personnel added into the city, as much as the report might have delineated that they could be needed. So to me, operations and oversight is for things that we really have control over. We don't have control over this report. It's the mayor's report. He should take it and do something with it.
Thank you, Councilor Roby. Anyone, Councilor Landers?
Well, I think what it does, it would give us an opportunity or an idea. I have no idea which way the mayor's going on this. So how do we can meet with him on an individual basis, which isn't bad, but you know, if we called him to a subcommittee meeting, he might say, okay, committee, this is what I'm thinking of, and it gets it out there. That's all.
You know, it's Councilor Orem.
Well, thank you. I may be changing my mindset now that I'm hearing from my fellows. And there were 65, almost half of the people that responded to this from the city employee base really brought out some great things. I like the mayor for a day. Did anyone see that? You get to play mayor for a day and really get to see what it's like. I think the mayor would appreciate that. But anyways, I'm going to motion to send it to Operation Oversight Committee, the Operation Oversight Committee.
I'll ask if the council that made the motion to accept place on file wants to withdraw his motion.
Yeah, I'll withdraw and see how that vote goes. It's fine with me.
Motion to accept and file has been withdrawn. There's been a motion made and second to send to the Ops and Oversight Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Is referred to Ops and Oversight 11-0. Agenda item number 9.
Communication from Solicitor Jason Grossfield regarding the application for a site plan.
Point of order, Mr.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Can you call the vote again on the referral?
I said 11-0. If someone said they weren't supporting it, they didn't speak up loud enough to show to.
Yeah, I think you did it way too fast.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. All those in favor of going to Ops and Oversight, please stand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'm on my tiptoe.
So 7 means it passes. So it passes 7. Do the math. 4.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 9.
Communication from Solicitor Jason Grossfield regarding the application for site plan approval from Aubuchon Realty Company, Inc. related to the proposed expansion and upgrade of the retail plaza within the Wayside District at 661 Boston Post Road East. In proper legal form, order number 21-100, 8418B.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to the reports of committees.
Motion made and seconded to move this item to reports of committee. Any discussion on the item? All those in favor of moving to reports? Opposed? Is approved. 11-0 to move to reports. Agenda item number 10.
Application for renewal of taxi livery license from Katsunura Tanaka, DBA Global Limousine and Tour Services, 17 Eager Court.
Councilor Landers.
Mr. President, motion to refer to Public Service Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Public Service Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is approved to go to Public Service, 11-0. Agenda item number 11.
Application for a taxi livery license from Josiah Hichakwu, DBA ROA Health Systems, to operate a livery service at 43 Bowstring Way.
Well done.
Thank you.
Councilor Landers.
Again, thank you, Mr. President. A motion to refer to Public Service Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Public Service Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Is approved to go to Public Service, 11-0. Agenda item number 12.
Communication from Engineering Design Consultants on behalf of Lacombe Business Center regarding sewer taking and easement relative to certain parcels on Lacombe Street.
Councilor Perlman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Refer to the Legislative and Legal Committee and also send to the solicitor and the engineer.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Legislative and Legal Committee, send to the solicitor and the city engineer. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Is approved. To go to L&L, Legal and Engineering. Agenda item number 13.
Communication from Central Mass Mosquito Control Project regarding budget notification for fiscal year 23 and the compliance certification policy.
Councilor Orem.
We're already into the mosquito season, and it's 12 degrees outside. But they're looking at their fiscal FY23 budget, and they're going at a 2.5% increase. They handled quite a few communities. Marlborough pays, I think, 3.08% in this report that we have. You can comment to the Director, Timothy Deschamps, if you have any questions. But yeah, we pay 3.08% of the entire group of communities, and I think there's about 40 of them now, 30 to 40. I would recommend accepting and placing on file.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the communication. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is filed 11-0. Agenda item number 14.
Minutes of boards, commissions, and committees.
Mr. President.
Councilor Doucette.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on file the minutes of the boards, commissions, and committees.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file all the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are filed. 11-0. Agenda item 15.
Claims.
Mr.
Councilor
President.
Doucette.
Thank you very much. Motion to submit the claims to the legal department.
Motion made and seconded to send the claims to the legal department. Any discussion? Councilor Oram.
I'm going to be abstaining from the vote.
Understand, we'll let the record reflect that Council Oram will abstain from the vote on sending the claims to the legal department. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is sent to legal 10-0-1. Reports of committees. Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Personnel Committee met on January 31st. There was 3 items on the agenda. The meeting started at 6:30 p.m. and we were all present for the committee members. The order number 22-18496 was the reappointment of David Georgie as police chief for 4 years term, and the term is to expire on August 20th, 2025. It's a motion by Councilor Doucette, and it was seconded by the chair, and motion carried 3-0. Second item was order number 22-18498, the reappointment of Jeremy McManus to the position of the city assistant solicitor for a term of 3 years effective from date of confirmation. It was motioned by Councilor Doucette, seconded by the chair, and then we voted 3-0. We are asking for a suspension for this. And then the last item on the agenda was order number 22-18499, the appointment of Sarah Huff to the Historical Commission for a term of 3 years effective from date of confirmation. It was motioned by Councilor Doucette, seconded by the chair, and all in favor 3-0. And then we adjourned at 6:58.
Thank you, Councilor Dumas. The chair has asked for suspension of the rules for order number 8498, which is the appointment of the Assistant City Solicitor. So on the suspension of the rules, all those in favor? Opposed? The suspension is approved 11-0. Councilor Dumas.
Thank you. Motion to approve the appointment of Jeremy McManus to the position of City Assistant Solicitor for a term of 3 years effective from date of confirmation.
Motion made and seconded to approve the appointment of Assistant City Solicitor McManus. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. 11-0. Congratulations. Hopefully he's not watching. Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. So the Council, Urban Affairs, and Housing Committee also met on January 31st. Following the personnel meeting, we took up 3 items on our agenda, taking care of some business that was carried over from last year. First was order number 2021-108-046B, a petition from William Camuso on behalf of Camuso Enterprises to operate a Shell station at 431 Lincoln Street on a 24-hour basis. This has been on our agenda since June of 2020. We had lengthy discussions through several meetings, some concern of neighbors, and there was a letter that was sent by the ward councilor, Councilor Irish, that was read into the record, where he was not in favor of 24 hours, but was in favor of an extended operation. After discussion, the committee felt that opening at 5 a.m. and closing at 11 was appropriate. So Councilor Doucette moved to recommend approval of a draft order for an exemption to operate from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. with the conditions. The motion received a second and carried 5-0. And I'm going to request a suspension tonight so that that draft order can get referred to the solicitor and be on the next agenda. Next was order number 8418B, referencing 21-100-8395, which is a communication from Attorney Falk, application for site plan approval from Aubuchon Realty Company related to proposed expansion and upgrade at the retail plaza at 661 Boston Post Road East within the Wayside Zoning District. So the council had approved the special permit for the drive-throughs. We went over site plan. This had also been looked at by Site Plan Review Committee. They did recommend language changes. Site Plan reviewed the difference between what Attorney Falk had sent to us and felt that it wasn't necessary to have language about, I lost my place here, language about the OSHA requirements, which Site Plan Review thought were not necessary, but they should have language on a temporary occupancy permit for either bank structure or the coffee shop if one was finished before the other one was ready to go. So we do have that language on our docket. I will also ask for a suspension for that. The site plan approval was, Councilor Doucette moved to recommend approval of the site plan submitted by the Site Plan Review Committee, and that was a 5-0 recommendation. So I will ask for it to be taken up tonight. The last item was order number 21-100-8441C, a communication from Attorney Falk for a special permit from J&D Landscape Contractors to construct and operate both a contractor's yard and a landscaping contractor's yard at the Airport Industrial Park 101, Airport Boulevard, Unit 12. So Attorney Falk was present for this meeting. He had submitted a draft decision on a special permit for review and comments by the city's managers. We received an email from Priscilla Ryder, which was a compilation of all of the managers' comments, where they were suggesting one change in C2, where site plan review would read, a final occupancy permit shall not be issued. They would strike the permit and add certificate of occupancy. Councilor Doucette recommended approval of the draft decision on the special permit as amended. The motion received a second and a vote carried 5-0.
Thank you, Councilor Roby. So you looking for a suspension on 8046, the Shell Station, correct?
Correct.
A motion's been made to ask for suspension of the rules on 8046 to be sent to the solicitor. All those in favor of the suspension? Suspension's approved, 11-0. Councilor Roby.
So move to refer this to the solicitor to be checked and brought back in final form on our next agenda.
Motion's made and seconded to refer this item to the solicitor, be put in proper format for our next agenda. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is approved, 11-0 to send to the solicitor. Councilor Roby.
So everybody does have in their packet the site plan approval information. I would move to approve the recommendation of the committee.
Let's start with the first, ask for the suspension, right? You want the suspension?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Getting ahead of myself. Move to suspend the rules to be able to take up the order.
Motion has been requested to suspend the rules to take up this order on the site plan approval at 661 Boston Post Road East. All those in favor of the suspension? Opposed? It is approved to suspend the rules, 11-0. Councilor Roby.
So move the recommendation of committee on the site plan, which was to approve, 5-0.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the site plan for 661 Boston Post Road East, put Starbucks and the facility to be named later. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, on the motion to approve the site plan, all those in favor? Opposed? The site plan is approved, 11-0. Are there any other reports of committees? Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Public service announcement. Finance Committee will be meeting on February 23rd, 2022. Thank you, Mr. President.
Anyone else? If not, absolutely counts.
Was that February 23rd or 26th?
February 23rd.
23rd, okay.
It's a Wednesday.
A Wednesday evening.
Wednesday.
Mr.
We
Brady.
talked earlier about this, I'm just, okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Counselor.
I'm all
Oro.
set.
Anyone else? Counselor Dumas.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made and second to adjourn. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:35. Everyone, gives everyone time to get home for Happy Valentine's. We are adjourned.